welcome to day 14 of your 30-day journey, Spring Awakening, with me, Noelle. Congratulations on making it through 2 whole weeks. So, to end our water week, I thought it would be nice to tap into this idea of Ahimsa. So, Ahimsa is this idea of nonviolence. And so, we're going to kind of go through postures where we're going to hold them a little longer so you can kind of listen to yourself and maybe ask yourself, like, where can I soften? How can I soften? How can I be more kind to myself? So I'm going to try to do a little less talking as much as I can. I feel like I'm a chatterbox. But anyhow, you'll probably for sure want a strap and maybe a bolster for the end. But yeah, just since we've been really getting into the hips, this emotional body I feel like is nice and open. So I thought Ahimsa, this softening, gentle strength, nonviolence attitude, would be a great practice to end our water week. So grab what you need, take a sip of water, and we will all begin in a comfortable seat where your left heel comes in first, followed by your right. And bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And start to connect to your breath. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Maybe you roll your shoulders back a couple times. Spine is nice and long. Feeling the air reach into your chest body and your belly. Softening any tension in the face or the jaw. And allow yourself to drop in. Connect to your breath, deepening and lengthening the inhales and the exhales. Maybe you set your intention here, connect your mantra, which the offerings are I soften. And I'm also offering I listen, because Ahimsa is all about listening to yourself and to others and taking what you need and leaving what you don't. And also noticing how your self-talk might come up during certain postures. So I soften, or where can I soften? I listen. And let's get ready to be kind to ourselves, right? All right, from here, you can move your hands to your knees if you prefer, but they can stay on your hands and your heart and your belly. We're going to take some very gentle neck circles, connecting the chin towards the chest. If you want to do full circles, go for it. Just be safe and kind to your body. And then from here, you're going to want to grab your strap if you have it handy. If you don't have a strap, you can use a towel or like a small blanket. But we are going to come into this extended leg posture. So our left heel is going to be staying in, and we're going to use the strap or our hands and see how much we can extend our knee or our leg without hyperextending the knee. So if you need a generous bend in the knee, go for it, because the tendency is people will try to straighten their knee and then they'll round their spines like that. And so, finding that towel or that strap or bending your knee as much as you need. But we're going to sit here for a few breaths. Shoulders down and away from the ears, spine nice and long. Maybe you feel a little shake. You're doing great. and then unravel. Switch to your legs. So right heel comes in and we take it to the other side. So either grabbing the outside edges of your foot, or maybe you just use your big toe and use your left hand for support. But yeah, just play around a little bit, see how you can find your support, or just in general. Yeah, that's just the way I'll leave it. How you can support yourself. Staying connected to your breath. One more breath here. And then exhale, unravel. Maybe do a couple of wrist circles. I kind of wanted to choose a posture that isn't necessarily challenging, but since it's so early on in our practice that our legs are clearly not warmed up. So just beginning that awareness of how you might have reacted to a posture that wasn't really for like a first posture of your practice. But anyhow, shake it off or embrace it. We will all meet in all fours, where we will find our cat cows. So inhaling, dropping the belly, and then exhaling, curling the spine. Maybe you find some circular movement in the hips. We should be pretty comfortable with our cat cows by now. So find your expression. Maybe you get the side to side movement going. And then once you've had enough of that, we're going to curl the toes under, send the hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. So hands are nice and open, grabbing your mat, ears in line with the shoulders. Nice bend in the knee as your heels reach towards the earth. Pedal it out here. Taking things nice and slow today. So even within sometimes the slowness, there's going to be moments of challenge. So just inviting that awareness and that challenge of what we may have today, how we can be kind to ourselves. All right, drop the left heel and step that right foot between the hands, lowering the back knee, finding your low lunge on your right side. Bring your hands into prayer position at your heart. So staying here in our lunges for a moment. Active energy in both legs, so you're pressing actively into those back toes. Core is engaged. And then from here, we're going to find a twist by bringing our left elbow outside to our right knee, keeping our hands in this prayer position. Maybe you open up your arms for a different expression. A couple more breaths here. And then a small challenge, or maybe not so small. Curl those back toes under and see if you can bring it up into a high lunge, keeping the twist. That front leg is working very hard, I know. But how can we soften through the challenges, right? And then listen carefully. We're going to straighten that front leg as we open up our arms, windmill, finding a revolved or reverse triangle. So right fingertips reaching up and towards the sky, left hand actively reaching down towards the left leg, giving that front leg a little bit of a break. Beautiful side body stretch. And then exhale, open your arms out and wide to find your warrior two, finding a generous bend in that top knee. Here for a few breaths. Gaze at that right middle finger. Seeing what comes up. Notice if you want to fidget. I'm a person who loves to fidget, so you are not alone. We're in this together. All right. Windmill your hands once again as you frame your front foot and find a warrior 3 with your hands on the ground to begin with. So collect your bearings here for a moment. And then when you feel like you're ready, let's see if you can bring your hands back into prayer position, taking them off the ground as we just hovered. If you fall, that's okay. Notice your wobbles. Maybe you just don't have balance today. That's okay. That's okay. If you need to leave your hands on the earth, please do. A couple more breaths here. Maybe you just do half of it, so keeping one hand on the earth, your left hand on the earth, and your right hand to heart center. Always an option. Then we're going to rise up and find our Tadasanas. So maybe shake out your limbs here. And then we are going to take our right knee towards our chest. So you can use your hands for some extra support here. Finding your drishti, your gaze, as we find a little bit of a balanced posture. Maybe find some circles in that ankle. And then find your strap, or take your 2 big fingers to your big toe, 2 peace fingers, and see if you can extend that leg out in front of you. Your left hand can come to your hip, and you can also bring your right hand to the outside edge of your foot too if that feels better. That's where I actually prefer it. Breathe. Notice if you wobble or if you fall. It's okay, come back. Try again. And then see if you can open that leg out to the side. And I know that left foot is on fire. Like, see, I just came out of a pose. It's okay. Like, come back in. You can always come back and just stay here in the first stop that we had with the knee towards the chest. So a couple more moments to play. Seeing what expression finds you today. And then we're all going to melt our hearts forward all the way down to a forward fold. Taking one little beat here. And then plant your palms, step it back. There's an opportunity here for a vinyasa, or take it straight back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 beautiful breaths here. And then drop your right heel and step that left foot between your palms as you come and find your low lunge on the left side. Hands coming to heart center. Breathing deep. Staying connected. When you're ready, find your twist by bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left elbow, or left knee. It's funny. Maybe you open your arms for a new expression. And then from here, curl those right toes under and see if you can find the twist in the high lunge this time. Maybe you're wobbling here, their legs are shaking. I know you're working hard. I feel it too. And then straighten that front leg and windmill your arms so you can find your reverse triangle on the other side, left fingertips reaching towards the sky as your right fingertips reach down your right leg. And let something go. And then generous bend in that front knee as you open your arms wide to find your warrior two. Gaze at your left middle finger. See how low you can go. 3 breaths here. Okay, windmill your arms to frame your front foot to come into, sorry, I feel like I just yelled at you. Frame your front foot and come and find your warrior three. Nice and strong. Maybe you lift your hands and you hover, kicking that right foot out into an imaginary wall. Working hard, embracing the challenge, the gentle strength, the soft strength. And then stand up and find your Tadasana from there, whether you use your hands or not. And then shake it out before we play with our balance on the other side. So grounding into your right foot this time. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. It's always so funny because each side is so different, and I'm so much worse on my right foot when it comes to balancing. So hey, if you fall out, you'll probably see me falling out too. All right, and now grabbing your strap or using your hands, try to see if you can extend that front foot in front of you. Standing one-legged Tadasana with extended, oh yeah, everything's extended. So maybe your right hand comes to your hip. And then if you're feeling brave, see if you can kick it out to the side. And if you fall out, just come back. All is well. All is well. It's you versus yourself after all, right? My goodness. Oh my goodness. My right side is not having it today. A few more breaths to play here. Spine nice and long. And then unravel. Shake it off once again. And then come into a forward fold for a couple moments. And then take your feet out wide, pointing your toes out, and come find a Malasana for a moment. Surprise, surprise. You know, I'm always finding us in Malasana, aren't I? Grounding down here, maybe you bring your hands back to heart center in this idea of always returning to the heart space and that just place of love, I suppose. And then come to your bum, and we're going to lie flat on our backs and just snuggle your shoulders beneath you. Maybe you do a couple wrist circles and ankle circles. Sorry, I have vertigo spells, and sometimes lying down, I'll get really, really dizzy, so I'll completely lose my train of thought. Anyhow, just if you ever hear that happen to me, that is an issue I have. Anyhow, so hugging your right knee towards your chest. And then bring it over towards the left, finding a supine twist. your right elbow in a cactus shape, and your left hand can come to the outside of your right knee. Turn to look towards the right. Unravel. Come back to center. Extend that right leg long and bring your left knee in towards your chest this time. And then we take it to the other side, bringing that opposite knee towards the opposite side. Left arm in your goalpost or an open tee. I always like to say goalpost though because you almost never have the room. I think it just also feels better. Active energy in that right leg that's extended out long. Unravel, coming back to center, hugging both knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice big self-love hug. Maybe you bring your knee towards your nose. Yeah, knees towards your nose. And then explode wide open. Coming into a Shavasana, the invitation to bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly like we began, kind of acknowledging our practice, how coming back to that intention we set off with, because the whole purpose of setting an intention for the practice isn't just for while we're on the mat, right? It's so we take it with us. So that is an invitation, as all things are for me. But one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, just like we began. Coming back to your intention, noticing how you feel. Maybe this is your first time learning about Ahimsa. Maybe you're inspired to do a little more research on what that means, what that might mean to you. Allowing your breath to go back to a natural rhythm and allowing your body just to melt and absorb the nutrients of your practice. And then stay here for however long as you want, or pause the video here, but begin to bring some energy back into the body. Maybe you switch your legs side to side, clench your fingertips, move your toes, and then coming to one side or just slowly rolling up to a nice comfortable seat when you're ready. Ooh. Sorry guys, I'm really dizzy today. Shaking that off. I don't know if anyone else has had vertigo before, but it is the worst. I had a really bad concussion like a year and a half ago, like a really bad one, and ever since I get vertigo spells. So that's fun. Anyhow, when you get to your comfortable seat, close your eyes or maybe start to soften it and bring your awareness back into the world and solidify the practice by bringing your hands to our heart Anjali Mudra, and I bow to you for completing 2 whole weeks and showing up every day for yourself and exploring this journey with me. And I hope you're enjoying it. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you then.